it is really interesting to talk about the protections that are afforded to us as people, as people of the United States, and what it means. There's a lot of conversation about that currently, and I'm not going to get political, but I am going to get real. And that is that those founders wanted to make sure that individuals had rights and were protected. And if we stick to that foundation in terms of individuals that are living here, that are protected and have rights, if we stick to that premise and honor that that's what our founding fathers were trying to ensure that happened for everyone, I think we find ourselves in a much better place when it comes to our current dialogue. That's what they wanted. They wanted us to be one. They wanted us to be together. They wanted us to continue to fight for each other and protect each other and lift and hold each other up. That's what the spirit of the Constitution is truly about. And so, while no document's ever perfect, there are loopholes that are there that create some of the disparities and continued challenges that we see. But I think, again, if we use the mindset that we have of putting forth what their overall vision and spirit was for the Constitution, I think it can still guide us in terms of making the right decisions. About 11,000 amendments have been proposed to be added to the Constitution, 11,000. And about 500 of them were to change the current indirect election of the president via the Electoral College. Just something to think about. So with that, I want to turn to Ms. Beal. Before let's read the proclamation first, and then I'll turn to Ms. Beal for some comments as well. This is our 230th anniversary of our United States Constitution. And the proclamation reads, whereas the Constitution of the United States embodies the ideas and principles of our founding fathers, supplemented by the wisdom that has been reflected in our dynamic republic over 2 centuries. And whereas this fall marks the 230th anniversary of the framing of our Constitution by the 1787 Constitutional Convention, and whereas the Constitution not only embodies the hopes and aspirations of Americans for liberty and representative government, but also continues to inspire people seeking freedom the world over. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland, hereby recognizes the 230th anniversary of our United States Constitution and urges constant vigilance of county residents in protecting our liberties and rights for generations of Americans still to come. Presented this 19th day of September in the year 2017, signed by our Council President, Roger Berliner.
Just a couple of things that you may not know about our Constitution. It was written in secret. They were in a locked room guarded by sentry. The windows were closed, and it was very hot in Philadelphia that summer. So they sweltered inside of this room where they worked. But they didn't want any of their conversations, any of their deliberations to be bandied about the city, about the state at that time. They didn't want anyone to know until it was finished. They wanted no false rumors getting out about this, that, or the other, and impeding them in their deliberations. So that's how they worked. When it was all over and done with, the Constitution that they came up with was, of all of the written national constitutions in the world, then and now, it is the oldest and the shortest. And that is remarkable that it has stood the time, and only 27 amendments have been passed to change that. So it is still the shortest. And the Constitution, along with the Declaration of Independence, are on display at the National Archives. You can go down there and see them whenever the building is open. You do have to go through security to get there now, but it is worth going by and seeing those documents, and you just are in awe that they have survived for this long without major upheaval in this country. And let's see, there was one more. Right, I mentioned that that the Constitution was written in Philadelphia. It was written in the State House, now Independence Hall. That's where the Declaration was written, and that's also where George Washington received his commission as an officer in the Continental Army. And so now maybe you know a little bit more than you did before.